It's been long anticipated for well over 2 weeks now, but the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super has now been officially released. Welcome, Dragon Ball fans, to my review of Dragon Ball Super Episode 35, entitled Turn Anger into Power. Vegeta's all-out battle, the battle between Frost and Vegeta, has finally happened. Lots to talk about in this episode. In my opinion, a very exciting time to be watching Dragon Ball, especially with this Universal Tournament nearing its end. Vegeta stepping up against, the cheating space pirate known as Frost, who indeed got what was coming towards him in the end. And I will say the build for this, by the end of this arc, I believe at least this will have a huge payout in my opinion. And so for those who dislike this arc thus far, for those who feel as if this arc is going by way too fast and it's meaningless, I say it'll pay out in the end. So I would like to know down below your overall thoughts on the pacing of Dragon Ball Super thus far. But now let's talk some episode 35, shall we? Vegeta finally steps up. Vegeta fights in the Universal God of Destruction tournament for the very first time. After watching Goku and Piccolo fail against Frost, it is now Vegeta who steps up against them. And I will say, judging by the end result, this fight ended quicker than anyone else would imagine. For those of you out there that predicted that Vegeta was gonna one-shot and completely one-punch man Saitama this dude, then you guys were right, because that's exactly what Vegeta did. A brief conversation, a brief moment of dialogue between Frost and Vegeta, which was very interesting, mind you, because prior to all of that even happening, Frost was demonstrating his poison, the toxic acid that was coming out of his arm, which looked very cool, especially when it touched the ground, because it melted right through. And it reminded me of Aliens, because in the movie Aliens, those aliens have toxic acid within their bodies, and if you cut them open, that green stuff would actually melt you and burn your skin off and stuff. And Vegeta was aware of this, and he didn't seem concerned at all, because the second they rung the bell, Vegeta transformed into a Super Saiyan and Frost charged him. Frost had so much confidence going into this, but the end result proved meaningless for Frost, because he got punched so hard by Vegeta in the stomach that literally he got sent flying through the dome. It was so funny because as badly as Goku was beating up Frost, he had Frost by the edge of the ring, his legs were all shaken up and stuff, but Vegeta, however, was able to punch Frost so hard that he went through the barrier, which is really, really cool. And so as he came back down, he hit the ground and he was literally knocked out. The referee had to check him just to see if he was alive, and it was such a surreal moment, because Vegeta, he was saying some stuff, and then he just powered down, just back to base form, as Beerus was talking to Goku. And while they're talking, Beerus was inspecting Goku just to see if Frost indeed have cheated, and he did. I mean, he checked Goku's palm, and there was like a slight little hole in his palm, and Beerus was very happy. Beerus was like, well, Champa, you see, as you can see, your fighter cheated, therefore I have to reinstate my fighter, therefore bringing them back. Goku is now reinstated in the tournament. He is back once again, and Champa didn't really seem to have that much of a concern, because as he glanced on over to Kabe, Magetta, and Hit, he didn't really seem all that shaken up. He kind of agreed to it. He was like, whatever, I mean, I have confidence in my guys. But then Goku was like, alright, cool, thank you for letting me back. I want to go on ahead and fight last, thanks. And Beerus was like, no, you're gonna fight after Vegeta, but before Monaka. And Goku was like, why? Why are you having so much faith into this one person? We haven't even, seen what he was capable of. I mean, let's just at least see what he's capable of. And Beerus insisted that he fights after Vegeta, so therefore giving us a hint that indeed Vegeta will lose sometime either with Kabe or against Hit. But even leading to that, Whis actually made a very interesting comment asking Beerus if he was going to reveal the identity of who Monaka truly is, and that got him shaken up. And I was so excited by that, because he just did not want anyone to know who Monaka is. And I am very curious as to who this character is, because Beerus seems to have his back, day in and day out. No matter what happens, no matter who stands up against him, the God of Destruction has his back. And that says a lot about the character, because you really have to be either on par with a god, or at least close in strength, for someone like that to give you respect. And he was giving Monaka a lot of respect, even to the point where Goku approached Monaka to talk, and Beerus literally cut in front of him. He was like, no, you're not gonna talk to him, don't look at him, just ignore him, go back to your seat, sit down and wait for your turn. And Goku insisted, and Beerus slapped the crap out of Goku. He went down, and he was like, what'd you do that for? But there's something about Monaka that we're not actually picking up here. Now the question to you guys is, do you guys believe that Monaka is indeed another god? Do you guys think that he's related to Beerus? Do you guys think that he's one of Beerus's relatives, friends? Do you think he is an outside source from a different universe or a different galaxy? Comment down below and let me know, because again, it's very mysterious as to why Beerus is so overprotective, for anyone else to find out who Monaka truly is and what he's truly capable of, which leaves me to believe that towards the end it will be Monaka versus Hit. But going back to Hit now, so ever since Vegeta knocked out Frost, during the whole scuffle of the announcer, announcing the next fight, we see Frost, he's outside of the dome, he's just had enough, and he discovered this cubicle that we used to bring everybody to the tournament, and he found a batch, a giant pile of treasure and gold and money, and of course he wanted to take that, use the cube to fly away and go back to his universe and stuff. And obviously obviously he had an agenda, a very greedy agenda. He was like a little weasel the way he operated, but needless to say, as he was about to do so, we saw someone approach Frost, and indeed that was Hit. And so for the very first time, we actually heard Hit speak, and he actually took action against Frost, because as Frost was gazing upon Hit, he looked absolutely terrified. I mean, Frost, the person that was taunting even the Super Saiyans, was absolutely in the mercy of someone like Hit. I mean, the second he glanced at him, he was just so fearful. I mean, there wasn't any signs of rebellion. There wasn't any signs of him trying to fight back. It was just pure and utter fear, and Frost feared Hit. And in the meantime, Hit used like these crystal shards. I mean, I don't know what he conjured up, but he used somewhat of an attack to attack Frost from the inside, because all of a sudden we saw like these giant massive holes emerge from Frost's body, and Frost was screaming in pain. He was screaming in torture, which leads me to believe that, you know, Hit does have abilities that could mess with your insides, that can mess with your mind and stuff. So who knows what this character is capable of. I am very, very excited, and I still stand by what I said about Hit being the absolute strongest and being a very difficult person to get through, because as we saw with Frost, he was able to knock Frost out and drag him back to the arena. So that was the power of Hit. And actually, in fact, he is a mercenary. He is a hired gun. He is a hitman in a way, and he does what people says for either money or whatever the case may be. And Vadus knows of this, and I do think Vadus also has an agenda here that we're not clearly seeing. But needless to say, you know, Hit came along and he completely knocked out Frost. I mean, literally, he laid him out. And back towards the tournament side of things, we have Magetta stepping up, and Magetta looked very weird at first. And again, I am wrong about this character, because I actually judged him way too quickly than what I believed. But Super Saiyan Vegeta wasn't able to put a dent, no pun intended, into this character, because this character had unique abilities that allowed Vegeta to get pushed back, especially with the new barrier being implemented, because there was a new rule added to where if someone touches the new barrier added around the ring, you will automatically be disqualified and you will lose. So you know, Magetta was actually able to push Vegeta near that barrier, so that gives him a little bit of a difficult run, because you know, they can't really do much as of this point because of the barrier and stuff. And so Magetta actually is a very cool character, because he drinks magma, he drinks lava. You know, he's just consistently made out of metal and magma. And against Vegeta, you know, Vegeta was actually kicking his head in, and Magetta was able to literally just like punch his own head out of his body. I mean, it was really cool. It actually reminded me a lot of Majin Buu / Super Buu, because of the way he was beating his head, of the way he pulled his head out. It was really, really cool. So that was really interesting to see. And in next week's episode, we will see the finale between Vegeta and Magetta, I believe, because Vegeta is going to use the Final Flash. I mean, the Final Flash hasn't been used in such a long time. I do believe roughly around the Cell Games arc. So now we have him using it again. Will it work? It's unknown as of this point. Whether or not he's going to become a god or not to use that against Magetta. But indeed, you know, Kabe will step up to the plate after Magetta, and I cannot wait to see that, because right now the lineup is going to be Magetta fights this week, and he's going to fight next week, setting up for the fight after with Kabe. So that's going to be really cool. The questions of the day, guys, are who is Monaka? What's his title? What's his status? And the second question is going to be who is Hit, and how strong is this guy? Because he literally didn't even have to raise a finger to knock Frost out. I mean, he was able to like penetrate him. He was, you know, creating all these holes in his body. It was really, really intense, because, you know, he literally didn't have to do anything to put Frost down, and that's scary. That's such a scary thought to have, because for someone like Hit to, you know, not even raise a finger and do damage is crazy. So comment down below on your overall thoughts on this, because in next week's episode, we get to see the struggle between, you know, Magetta's magma beams against, you know, Vegeta's ki beams, and we're gonna get to see the Final Flash, and then hopefully we're gonna get more of an explanation as to what happened between Frost and Hit. But needless to say, I mean, he just looked absolutely scared of Hit when he saw him. He was petrified. And again, over on Team Universe's 7 side, we get to see talks about Monaka and stuff. And Whis looks like he wants to reveal his identity, but Beerus is like, nope, 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 don't do it, don't you dare. So comment down below and let me know, guys. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. The animation was crisp. It was really, really good. Such a crisp, you know, show and tell in this episode, because everything looks so good. good. So again, they did a great job to build suspense, to build the mystery like in the lore. So comment down below and let me know your overall thoughts on the episode, guys. Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? What are your overall thoughts on Vegeta versus Frost, Vegeta versus Magetta, and what are your overall thoughts on Frost encountering Hit? Is it too soon? Is it too early? Comment down below. Once again, guys, thank you all for watching. If you guys are Dragon Ball fans, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way you guys don't miss a single Dragon Ball episode and or update. If you guys enjoyed, if you guys cannot wait for the next episode, if you guys cannot wait to see what's going to happen, and smash that like button, leave your overall thoughts down in the comment section below. Tune in for more, and I will be seeing each and every single one of you Super Saiyans in the next update. Tune in for more, guys. Peace out.